Today on Commander Replay, we check out Atla Palani and try to crack some eggs. Will eating raw eggs make you look like Rocky Balboa? Find out next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Atla Palani today. And, yeah, our job is to crack some eggs and try to get some big creatures into play. This is going to be a combat-centric focus of Atla. I'm not really running things like Eldrazi or Praetors or any of the really big stuff. I think there's an Elish Norn in there. But really, I'm trying to focus on some more like 6 to 7 drop kind of things that we can go infinite with Aggravated Assault, with like Savage Ventmaw or Neheb. We've got an Aurelia in there, so it's going to be a very combat-centric sort of Atla. Obviously, you could just do the Eldrazi thing and just go for the biggest stuff that you can possibly find. That is a thing that you can do as well, but I decided to focus it this way just to see what happens. So here we are today. Kept the hand that's a little bit risky if we don't draw a third land. Really going to be relying pretty heavily on this Cultivate. So we do need to find that third land at some point. That's a Soul Ring. Yes, things are looking pretty good now. So we'll crack the Misty. What do we need? We've got green in hand. We've got white in hand. I guess I'll get the Savannah first, just because of the Steel Shaper's gift, but we will be playing the Soul Ring first. And pass turn like that. So taking a look at what Atla does, it's 1 Anaya for a 2/3, pay 2, create an 0/1 egg creature token with Defender. Whenever an egg you control dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Yep, so just like you might imagine, sacrifice an egg, get a huge creature is basically the name of the game with this deck. And if you are wondering, the cycle of egg artifacts that came out, I don't know, was that some really old set from late 90s, early 2000s? The word dies applies only to creatures and planeswalkers, which is something that I looked up before the start of the match. It does not apply to artifacts, so you could not crack like a Sky Shroud egg or whatever the relevant colors for Naya are in order to sacrifice that artifact into a creature. So it doesn't work that way. It needs to be a creature or a planeswalker when it dies for that ability to trigger. So a few things happening while I was talking. Grand Warlord Radha lays down a Mana Crypt into a Commander Sphere all on turn 1. They got some pretty good ramp going as well. And then Xenagos going to lay down a Strionic Resonator, also seems pretty good. We catch a land off the top. Lands are good. Yeah, so I guess let's play the Forest first, then play the Cultivate just on the random off chance of something wacky. Play the Cultivate. Now's a good time to get some red mana. I think we'll get 2 red because there's Aggravated Assault and things that do like good amounts of red mana. So 2 red right there. We'll use the Steel Shaper's gift, get ourselves a Skull Clamp. Get the old Skull Clamp. And we will pass turn like that. So far feeling pretty good. Grand Warlord Radha can probably come out pretty quickly with all the ramp that they just did. Xenagos is also a deck that doesn't take much. Once Xenagos is in, any big creature gets huge and hits you really hard. So don't know exactly how well suited we are to deal with that, but we'll see what's going on. I did tell opponents to bring some strong decks, so this is going to be a strong deck kind of game. First up, we have Lee Stake piloting Rashmi, Eternity's Crafter. This should be interesting. Most of the Rashmi decks I've ever run into were pickup games on MTGO. I haven't seen a really tuned Rashmi. I hear that there are good ones, and I hear people talk about it, but I've never seen them. So today might be the day, and we'll see what happens with that. Next up, we have Ivan Black piloting Grand Warlord Radha, a pretty sweet little commander. He gets themselves a red mana. Gets them red and green mana for each creature they attack with. They swing in our way. We go down to 36, but now they've got 2 extra mana that they can use for their second mains, and here comes a Talani's Summoner. So yeah, looking to get them tokens going. The one knock against this build of the deck is that I'm probably just a little bit light on removal. I think I counted 2 board wipes and then some creature-based removal in like Inferno Titan and Balefire Dragon, things like that, Elish Norn. But all in all, probably a bit light on from where I should be. Alright, we untap. We'll be on 5 mana this turn. Let's get the Sun Petal Grove into play. Actually, excuse me, make that 6. Thinking this turn's going to be Dragon Egg just to get a blocker. Then I guess we'll play the Skull Clamp and equip the Skull Clamp. Should stop opponent from attacking our way. We'll see what happens. We won't get the triggers necessarily just because Atla's not in play yet, but still some card draw and an extra creature. Not terrible. And then finally, we have KR4N piloting Xenagos, God of Revels. Talked about it a little bit already. Xenagos plus big creature equals you die. Pretty straightforward, aggro, smash face kind of commander. Its game plan tends to be very simple, but very effective. Just hit things, do a lot of damage, watch people die very quickly. Ours will be slightly more nuanced. We are a bit more combo-centric, but we've also got, I think, a few extra tools at our disposal that Xenagos doesn't have, but can take you out really quickly. So there's a survival of the fittest in the deck, and you might be wondering about this. I copied this deck list over from another deck list that I had, and that was one of the cards I probably could have cut. I don't know that this deck really needs a survival of the fittest. We have it, and it's there. Oh, no, opponent's still just going to attack us. Yeah, I'll take the card draw. I think the card draw is too valuable, honestly. Oh, on the other hand, if we wait, maybe we wait. I guess we wait. Oh, that makes me sad. Hopefully that's not the incorrect choice. We'll see. We'll see. So opponent's going to make themselves a bunch of elementals. Oh, boy. Can't see where these tokens are attacking yet. Opponent gets themselves a 2 red and green mana. Tokens into the Xenagos and Grand Warlord into us. So we're just going to keep working that combat damage on us. Decided not to go with the blocking because if this thing dies with Atla in play, it's going to be really good. I'm pretty sure I pulled out all of these small value-y type creatures from the deck. At some point I had considered keeping some of them in, and then as I was cutting the deck, I think we were left with only big creatures in the deck, so yeah. Here's an Endless Atlas for our opponent. Yep. Now, I've seen people doing some builds with this where maybe you only run about 5 or so big creatures in the deck, and you just run like Eldrazi and Praetors, and that is certainly a thing you can do. I haven't tried that out yet. I thought I would try something a little more on-brand to what I typically do, and that's going to be the really combat-focused stuff. A couple creatures in here that I don't normally get to play. Once again, got Giant Ataphage, a card that I attempted last week with the Volrath build, but sadly did not work out. Let's an Aurelia off the top. Probably not the thing that we needed, per se. But is the thing that we got. I guess we play the mountain, get our commander. Anything else we want to be doing? Unfortunately, we don't have the sack outlet yet, and that was one of the reasons to maybe have a small creature in the deck, just to have a sack outlet available somewhere, but the sack outlets, I don't think we have any sack outlets available on creatures at the moment. It does make me a little bit sad. So we'll just lay down the survival of the fittest, and we'll pass like that. Yeah, maybe the deck does need like a Dark Dweller's Oracle. I guess there's a Taurine Mauler and a Mirror Entity. Also, 1 or 2 egg creatures in the deck. So there are, I guess, a couple small things that we could hit with Atla, which may not be the best. Here comes... Oh, nice. All right, so Survival of the Fittest doing its job. Just going to be a bodyguard for other stuff. Beast Within going to hit the Survival of the Fittest. It's fine with me. We get ourselves a Beast token. Now, one thing that we could have done is... we could have survivaled for Mirror Entity, and that turns all of our creatures into eggs. So if someone should play a board wipe, then we get a lot of big things into play. Opponent's going to Beast Within the Palani's Summoner. Yeah, that seems like a pretty good idea. That thing seems to be putting in some work in the Radha deck. So opponents will get themselves a Beast token. Opponent's going to be able to generate a lot of mana this turn. Here comes Zerta Druid. Yep. Whenever it taps, it'll do 1 damage each opponent. Pretty good. And they'll get themselves a Mosswart Bridge. That'll come in tapped and hide away. They're not too far away from 10 power. They may even be on it. That's 8, 9. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've got it. So next turn, if there's no removal their way, they will be able to activate that Mosswart Bridge. Opponent's going to fire some tokens over to the Xenagos opponent. It's good. That should get Xenagos nice and worked up and hopefully send things their way when the time comes for that. Grand Warlord will get 5 mana in the meantime, which they can use in their second main phase. Seems pretty good. Here comes a Fires the Yamavaya. Yup. Things they control have haste. Only 1 card in hand. Surprised it didn't crack the Commander Sphere. With Radha in play, the amount of mana that you can generate off that is pretty good. Also, the Zerta, I'd probably crack the Commander Sphere right there, but I suppose there's no reason to do so just yet. No harm in holding off another moment. Here comes that Xenagos. Yep. Xenagos into play. And the thing is, Xenagos, when it's not in creature form, is really hard to deal with. So few cards actually hit it. Return to Dust and Crush Contraband are the few that commonly see play. Maybe a Chaos Warp, I guess, but not many things get rid of an indestructible enchantment very well. There's an Austere Command. Don't know if we need that just yet. I feel like we can hold off another minute, try to get more value out of it. I think, though, we activate Atla, get ourselves an egg, equip an egg, see what we hit. So we get an Atla trigger and a Skull Clamp trigger. Let's go Atla first. Have it resolve first. That way we don't draw something huge that we have no ambition of casting, is theoretically how this should work. And we get ourselves a giant Ataphage. Nice. Sweet. We get ourselves a blasting station. Cool. We should probably play that blasting station. Play the blasting station. And we will skull clamp the dragon egg. And we can shoot some stuff as we need to. Debating whether to ghost quarter this Mosswart bridge or not. I guess we don't need to just yet. We have an austere command. Don't think we need to do any attacking just yet. Rashmi's going to play a divining top, sure. Going to activate the divining top. Here comes a coiling oracle. Yep. Nice piece of value right there. Oh, blasting station will get a trigger. Well, I guess we should start shooting things then, right? We will blasting station the Zerta Druid, because that just seems like it makes sense. Sacrifice our dragon egg. Skull Clamp trigger to the bottom, Atla in the middle, and dragon egg on top. We get a dragon. Blasting station will untap. Atla trigger. We get... Oh, that's an Elesh Norn. Well, yep, we just crushed our opponent's token army. We could blasting station more stuff. I don't know that we need to. Here comes the Skull Clamp trigger. Drawing some cards, we get a nesting dragon. Great for making more eggs and more blasting station triggers. So if someone's got a board wipe, they're definitely going to use it against us. Unfortunately, we're out of egg creatures. Rune Stalactite was a card that I thought about, but it's like 1 and 2 to equip is, I don't know. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not, I don't know. It's worth testing, probably. Death Render is also a card you could think about. Pull creatures from your hand into play. Opponent's going to Artifact Mutation on our Blasting Station. That's probably a pretty good idea. Not particularly keen on sacrificing any of our stuff at the moment, so I think we'll just let that go. Got a lot of power on board, so yeah. Xenagos in the Think Tank, which means it's probably not a board wipe, because if it were, they'd probably just snap it down real quick, but Lurking Predators is a card. We are about to untap with a lot of power on board. And we draw a land. And that brings us back to our turn. We draw a land. Let's, kind of want, probably going to play Aurelia this turn. Yeah, okay. So I might go for the Flamekin Village. Ooh, let's see. That's Aurelia mana. We would need an untapped land to use the Atla trigger. So we'll probably do that. Cast Aurelia. Lurking Predators will trigger. See what they hit. Opponent's going to top. Yep. Opponent's going to activate the top. Draw a card. Interesting. Opponent gets themselves a Beast Whisperer into play. Sure. Play the Plateau. Activate Atla. Oh no! The egg's not going to die with Skull Clamp. I forgot about that. Oh well. That being the case, let's put Skull Clamp on something that matters. Elesh Norn's probably the first thing that anyone might try to kill, I would imagine. Let's do some attacking. Send a big one over to the... Who am I more nervous about, Xenagos or Rashmi? Let's try Xenagos. It should probably be Rashmi. Attacking the blue player is usually correct. But I am a little bit nervous about Xenagos. The Lurking Predators is pretty good. And if they catch, like, the Double Strike Dragon, that is actually kind of a problem. So, attack with everything we got into the Xenagos opponent. Beast Whisperer going to do some chumping. Yep. Giant Ataphage will trigger. Sweet. Get ourselves another Giant Ataphage. Opponent goes down to 9. And we'll go to combat number 2. I think we start working on the blue player now. Might as well attack with Atla. Ooh, Aurelia with Atla's good. Aurelia is an untap for Atla. If we had more mana, we'd be able to activate Atla once again. And Xenagos going down. We get ourselves another Giant Ataphage trigger. Who my? That's a lot of stuff. Opponents must have a board wipe. Board wipe, mass bounce, Ghostly Prison maybe. Ghostly Prison might help a little. We do have Austere Command. I'd probably blow up enchantments for a Ghostly Prison. Second sight. Look at the top 5 cards target opponent's library, then put them back in any order. Well, they better hope there's a board wipe on top. Opponent going to replay their top, activate the top. Mana Crypt flip for the Grand Warlord opponent. Clan Defiance, huh? X damage target creature without flying, X damage target player or planeswalker. Okay. Gets our commander. That's relevant. That means if someone had a board wipe, that means we wouldn't get more stuff back, but I don't know. Think this might be it for our opponents. Play the mountain just in case we need aggravated assault for any reason. Go to combat. Swing like that. Put 14 on the Rashmi and everything else over to the Grand Warlord. Man, with the Ataphage tokens, that is so much damage, plus the Elesh Norn. Whew. So, Rashmi down, 3 more Ataphage triggers. Nice. Oh, that's silly. That is silly. Opponent survives at 2. Send the rest of everything else. Negative 44, turn 7. That is a table kill in 7 turns. Oh my, that was some aggro. Wow, that was fast. Now, the big thing here is that opponents didn't really fire any removal in our direction. The big thing that I've seen is that if you have a swords or a path, you pretty much need to use them on Atla right away before they start getting those triggers. That buys you some amount of time before the nonsense really starts to happen. But if you don't, I mean, you're looking at a very Kalia style of deck where just huge creatures come into play and start attacking you for a lot of damage very quickly. So keeping Atla out of play is really the key to the deck. And we'll take just a quick peek at some of the creatures that we're using here. So we got a Gisela. Love me some Gisela. We saw the Giant Ataphage. Really good when you've got Aurelia and you can attack multiple times. We've got Savage Ventmaw to give us extra mana. We've got Hellkite Charger, which we can use that mana to pump into Hellkite Charger from the Savage Ventmaw. We've got Naheb, more of the same, and then we've got Aggravated Assault, more of the same. So, number of ways to go infinite with combat steps in this deck, and in the absence of removal, it's pretty fast. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.